The committees, the clerks of both houses requested information on the nominee from the statutory institutions, which are the EACC, Kenya Revenue Authority, Higher Education Close Board, the Director of Criminal Investigation, and the ORPP, Honorable Speaker. These institutions, Honorable Speaker, did write to the Joint Committee and gave a clean bill of health to the nominee. Additionally, the nominee presented before the committee's clearances from these particular institutions. Honorable Speaker, the committees in determining the suitability of the nominee took into consideration the provisions on leadership and integrity as outlined under Chapter 6 of the Constitution. Also, the committees consider the nominee's academic qualifications, employment record and work experience, membership to relevant professional associations, public office, political activities and affiliations, potential conflict of interest, suitability to the position, tax compliance, and other thematic areas relevant to the duties and responsibilities of a Director General of the Competition Authority of the Great Republic of Kenya. Honorable Speaker, having considered the suitability of the candidate, the committees noted the following: that the nominee is a Kenyan citizen with no dual citizenship and therefore meets the requirement of Article 78(1) of the Constitution. And 2, that the nominee was cleared by all Chapter 6 agencies and thus meets the requirement of Chapter 6 of the Constitution on leadership and integrity. And 3, that the nominee possesses the required relevant experience for the position of Director General for the Competition Authority of Kenya. He is a managing director at DGMB Solutions Limited and has vast experience in developing and managing strategies vital to the running of an organization. A background in management and organization leadership is a critical tool for any person discharging the duty like that of the Director General of the Competition Authority of Kenya. Honorable Speaker, the nominee clearly demonstrated to the Joint Committee that he clearly understood the current issues affecting the Competition Authority of Kenya. He also shared practical strategies that to address the various issues that exist around the matters of competition in this country. This placed him, Honorable Speaker, as a suitable candidate to provide leadership to the Competition Authority. The nominee, Honorable Speaker, demonstrated a satisfactory understanding of the mandate of the Competition Authority of Kenya, the need to ensure fair prices, to protect consumers and promote a transparent business environment, and the enforcement strategies that he would employ to monitor businesses. The nominee, Honorable Speaker, demonstrated his ability to effectively manage the funds and resources of an institution. He further demonstrated his ability to discharge the role as the accounting officer that is required, that of the Director General. The nominee, Honorable Speaker, is 59 years old, having been born on the 12th December 1964. The committee further finds that the Competition Authority of Kenya, Cap 504, does not provide for the age requirement for the office holder of the Director General. Further, Article 27(4) of the Constitution of Kenya prevents the state from discriminating against any Kenyan on an account of age. Honorable Speaker, it is important to note that the Joint Committee did receive a memorandum from one Mr. Wino, member of the public, challenging the nomination of Mr. Kimei as the Director General of Competition Authority of Kenya on the basis that he is 59 years of age, Honorable Speaker. Having consulted all our legal teams, it was eminent that 1, the qualification set by the Competition Authority of Kenya does not have a limit for the age of the nominee, Honorable Speaker. Secondly, it goes against the precepts of our Constitution to discriminate anybody against any position in this country based on race, religion, color, or age, or their ethnicity, Honorable Speaker, or even political affiliation. In relation to, Honorable Speaker, to a matter that was raised by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission of Kenya regarding the judgment to surcharge the nominee when he served as a KMTC board member for the impartial recruitment of the corporation county secretary for the organization's corporation secretary, the committee found that the nominee was not part of the said suit and therefore could not have had the opportunity to defend himself, and therefore it could not have utterly been unfair to judge him on that matter, Honorable Speaker. The matter in question, Honorable Speaker, just to give this House some basis, is when the nominee served as a board member for the KMTC, the board then recruited to the position of the CEO of the Corporation Secretary of KMTC. However, the said nominee was found not to have the requisite academic requirements, which included to have the need to possess a degree in law and to be a certified corporation secretary, as he is, Honorable Speaker. However, considering that was a board decision, and although even a court ruling had been issued, the suit was against the board of KMTC, and KMTC as a body corporate, and not to him as an individual member of that board, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, considering that he was not party to the suit, and therefore had not been accorded time to go and justify himself and defend himself, and a chance for his version to be had, the joint committees found that using that as a basis to deny this candidate the approval for this particular position of Director General would be unfair and would make him not have a recourse to be had, Honorable Speaker. The Honorable Speaker, it is therefore against this background that I request this Honorable House of the 12 of the 13th Parliament to agree with the joint committees of the National Assembly, Departmental Committee of Finance and National Planning, and that in the Standing Committee of Budget and Finance of the Senate, and approve Mr. David Kibet Kemei as the Director General for the Competition Authority of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move and request the Chair, Jailer Committee to second. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Murugara.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, let me begin by thanking the Committee on Finance for some work well done in vetting and approving the appointment of Mr. David Kibet Kemei. Without having to rehash exactly what the chairperson of the Finance Committee has submitted regarding this candidate, may I confirm that the candidate has immense experience in matters relating to competition, finance, and business. It is important to note that the Competition Authority of Kenya, the CAK, is actually under the Competition Act, Chapter 504 of the laws of Kenya, which is established specifically to ensure that the issues of competition in the country are dealt with in a manner that protects and promotes business in the country. The purpose of the Competition Authority is to promote, safeguard competition, also ensure that our national economy is protected, and the consumers who are the beneficiaries of the protection actually are not subjected to unfair and misleading market conduct or conditions in the country. Therefore, the task ahead of Mr. David Kemei is to ensure that we as consumers in the country are protected from unfair competition practices, which are quite often in Kenya. Those include bringing in substandard commodities. They also bring in undercutting, charging less than the market can allow, practices which expose consumers to substandard goods. Mr. Speaker, sir, Mr. Kibet Kemei will have to move to enforcement and the compliance with the Competition Act of Kenya. Here we will require him to ensure that this law is actually implemented to the fullest to ensure that, again, consumers and the economy of the country is protected. It is important to note that Mr. David Kibet Kemei did undergo a full vetting, and he was able to satisfy members of the Finance Committee that he was suitable for this job. And therefore, in view of the report that has been given to us, the submissions that have been made here, we do not have any hesitation in agreeing with the Committee on Finance and calling upon this Honorable House today to approve the appointment of Mr. David Kibet Kemei. With those remarks, I beg to second. Thank you very much.
Honorable members, I now propose the question. Order, honorable members, order. Can you take your seats? Take your seats. Honorable members, honorable members, take your seats. Order, honorable members. I now propose the question that, taking into consideration the findings of the Joint Committee of the National Assembly Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning and the Senate Standing Committee on Finance and Budget in its report on the vetting of a nominee for appointment as the Director General of the Competition Authority, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, the 26th September 2024, and pursuant to Section 12(1) of the Competition Act, Cap 504, and Section 3 and 8 of the Public Appointment Parliamentary Approval Act of 2011, this House approves the appointment of Mr. David Kibet Kemei as the Director General of Competition Authority. Yes, the Honorable Bayer.
Honorable Speaker, I stand to support these findings of the Joint Committee of the National Assembly Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning and the Senate Standing Committee on Finance and Budget in its report on the vetting of a nominee for appointment as the Director General of the Competition Authority. Honorable Speaker, as members are aware, the Competition Authority plays a crucial role in enhancing the welfare of the people of Kenya by promoting and protecting competition in markets and preventing misleading market conduct. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, the importance of the office of the Director General cannot be gainsaid. Honorable Speaker, I note that in considering the suitability of the nominee, the committee paid due regard to the constitutional and statutory requirements relating to the office in question and whether the nominee's abilities, experience, and qualities met the needs of the said office. Honorable Speaker, the committee was guided by the Constitution and the statutory requirements such as the national values and principles of governance, conduct of public officer, and leadership and integrity prerequisites. Additionally, Mr. Speaker, the suitability of the nominee was assessed after scrutiny of their background, academic credentials, and the professional qualifications, work, and professional experience, personal integrity, as well as their performance. The nominee, Honorable Speaker, Mr. David Kibet Kemei, has over 33 years' experience across many sectors, including academia, regulatory tourism, health, communication, and energy. Through his extensive employment record and work experience, the nominee is well equipped with the skills and expertise needed as Director General for the Competition Authority. Mr. Speaker, further, the nominee has clearly demonstrated a clear roadmap, according to the report, to promote growth in the sector, including creating a level playing field for businesses, advocating for regulatory reforms that promote transparency and competition, developing a regulatory framework that supports their competition, and promoting regional and global integration to foster a competitive environment that benefits both local and international business. Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, I urge this House to make a swift and favorable decision in approving Mr. David Kibet Kemei to the position of Director General of the Competition Authority of Kenya, thus reinforcing our commitment to protecting, strengthening, and improving the efficiency of our economy, which is vital for driving economic growth. Honorable Speaker, I support the appointment of David Kemei to be the Director General of the Competition Authority, and the report is available. The committee has done a good job, commendable job, and I want to thank the committee and the Senate committee, and therefore request this House to not waste time, but approve the appointment of David Kemei Kibet to be the Director General of the Competition Authority. Honorable Speaker, I support and request the members to support. And if the Honorable Pokose is around, he can request that we put the question and we approve. Honorable Speaker, I thank you.
Majority Leader, the MP for Super South, the Honorable Karoli Omondi.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise to support the nomination of David Kibet Kimei to the position of Director General of Competition Authority. As I'm doing so, I can see Honorable Marianne Keitan is smiling. There's a particular reason for that smile. Honorable Keitani and I happen to have worked with David Kimei many years ago when we established the first independent regulatory authority, then known as Electricity Regulatory Board, now Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, EPRA. I give Mr. Kimei a very strong recommendation because from that group at ERB at that time, now EPRA, our inaugural chairman is now the Speaker of this House. Our inaugural CEO is now the Deputy Chief Justice of this Republic. Marianne Keitan, the first Chief of Staff, Lady Chief of Staff in the Republic of Kenya, are now a member of this House. One good engineer, Kevin Karaoke, is now the head of power at African Development Bank. And yours truly, Karoli Omondi, the first Chief of Staff in the Republic of Kenya, is now a member of this House. Now, let me begin by giving further information about David Kimei. He was very instrumental in helping us set up rules and regulations that would deal with competition in the power subsector, consumer protection, compliance issues, and dispute resolution. I'm very confident that David Kimei will be able to be a good Director General and discharge the functions of a regulator properly, of exercising independent authority and ensuring that the market work and consumers are protected and that disputes that emerge are settled expeditiously and equitably. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to support.
The Honorable Marianne Kaitani.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I stand to support the nomination and appointment of Mr. David Kimei to the position of Director General of Competition Authority. Mr. Speaker, just like has been said by my colleague, Honorable Karoli Omondi, we worked with David Kimei at one time in our lives, and the work, and I can actually vouch for his experience and his professionalism in the works he does. He's very articulate and very straight to the point, and knowing that Competition Authority is an authority that takes care of businesses and industry in terms of competition and competitive advantages that some companies may want to take advantage of other companies. I think he comes in with the right skill and the right professionalism to be able to steer our industry and ensure that every industry or every person wanting to do business in Kenya gets the right forum or gets the right environment where competition is not curtailed. We know, for example, that there are businesses in this country that want to take advantage of others and make lots of profits and huge profits. And I know that David Kimei will be able to perform that duty, and I know that he is qualified and has the professional skill and is actually professional in everything that he does. I therefore stand to support. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
MP for Kikuyu and Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I rise to support the appointment, or rather the nomination and appointment of David to the position of the Director General of the Competition Authority of Kenya. Honorable Speaker, even as I support his nomination from his vast experience as a good professional who can deliver on the mandate having been vetted by the Finance and National Planning Committee, I must take this opportunity, Honorable Speaker, to speak to David and tell him that he's taking office in a very crucial authority in our country. Honorable Speaker, the Competition Authority has been moribund since its formation. And I want to hope and pray that David Kimei is a man who will make this authority have teeth to bite. Because, Honorable Speaker, we're in a country where corporates like Safaricom want to operate like a monopoly, and they do not desire to have competition from anybody, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I was shocked the other day when there was a lot of debate online and across the country from a letter that was done by Safaricom to the Communications Authority on the rollout of Starlink satellite technology in Kenya. Honorable Speaker, as much as Safaricom may have a point in terms of the national security issues and issues touching on traceability of the gadgets and where they are and for what purpose they are being used, but we see corporates like Safaricom and others, Honorable Speaker, who take advantage of their dominance in the market to kill competition in the country. And any economy without competition, Honorable Speaker, people will be taken advantage of. Honorable Speaker, if you look at the case of Starlink, Kenyans today are paying an average of 1,300 per month for data that is quick, is very fast, is easy to access, and you can access it from any corner of the country, irrespective of whether there is a base station or not. Why would anybody, Honorable Speaker, want to derail Kenyans from accessing such technology? Simply because you have invested over the years in base stations. If you have been slow in advancing your technology with changing times in the world, Honorable Speaker, it is not the problem of Kenyans. And this is where the Competition Authority must come in and step in and ensure that no corporate in this country and nobody is able to deny Kenyans the right of choice. Because that is all competition about. Competition is about the right to choice. Kenyans must be able to choose, even with Kenya Power and Lighting Company. We must be able to choose whether we want power connected to our homes by KPLC or by another competitor, Honorable Speaker, who can distribute power from the national grid. It cannot be that since for the last 60 years we have depended on KPLC, and in this day and age where people are even, Honorable Speaker, I saw something online, I think it was in India or Bangladesh, where people are using solar lighting and creating a grid in a village by interconnecting their own solar panels across their village. That is the beauty of technology that we must harness to ensure that we leverage on the innovations of our young people in this country, Honorable Speaker, to make sure that there is competitive trade in our economy, to ensure that at the end of the day, the ordinary Kenyan is able to access either services or products at the cheapest possible cost, whether it is data, whether it is airtime, Honorable Speaker. And as much as I don't like Elon Musk, Honorable Speaker, I saw him promising us that with time we'll be able to make emergency calls for free by converting our cell phones to satellite phones. This is the kind of innovation and technology we want, so that I do not have to pay 3 shillings per minute for airtime that could be free, for heaven's sake. Honorable Speaker, I support this nomination, but I want to ask Mr. David Kimei to make sure that the Competition Authority has teeth to bite and ensure Kenyans get value for their money, and the industry, all industries are competitive. With that, I support.
The MP for Wajir North, the Honorable Sene. Sene, are you in the house? Because I see your name here.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. I have no problem with the nominee offered the opposition as the Director General. David Kimei is qualified and competent to do the job. However, Mr. Speaker, I have serious concerns on how opportunities are being shared in this country. Mr. Speaker, ethnicity, marginalization, diversity, very important values that are so clear in our constitutions, are just on paper, they are not in action. opportunities has become the preserve of only the major tribes in this country. Mr. Speaker, I'm not a flower girl to sit in this house to always approve names for only few communities, Mr. Speaker. Kenya belongs to 47 tribes. 47 tribes. Day in, day out, we are approving names. I ask, are other Kenyans not competent? Are they not qualified? I'm reminded of the predecessor of this gentleman, David Kibet. One Dr. Adano has been acting for 21 months. 21 months in the same position. That begs many questions. There were so many irregularities in the recruitment of officers in the same office. So my concern, in as much as I approve the appointment of Kibet, Kenya doesn't belong to 2 to 3 or 4 tribes. Kenya belongs to 47 tribes. I don't know when an Ajuran, which is a tribe also in this country, a nominee from that community shall come to the floor of this house and we approve one from that community. There is the monopoly of only appointing people from few tribes. Kenya is one and our unity is manifest in the 47 communities or tribes, Mr. Speaker. In as much as I approve the nominee, I beg for regional balance. I beg for equity. I beg that all Kenyans are treated equally. I beg that Somali is not an ethnic, it's an ethnicity but not a tribe. That the Somali community is a nation of tribes. And many a times we are shrouded and we are being concealed in that name. So my concern is, let Kibet be approved. But let Kenya belong to 47 tribes, not in name but by action. I support, but I am not happy. I am not happy. I am crestfallen in the way in which public service is being just given to few clans, to few tribes, Mr. Speaker. Otherwise, I approve. Thank you.
The Honorable Makilap. Makilap. Order,
thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, please consult in law.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order. Yeah.
Protecting me from the leadership here. They are doing loud consultation.
The Honorable Kimani Chungwa, the Honorable Osoro. Now I'll not mention the lady's name. She's my colleague.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First, I rise to support David Kibet Kemei for appointment to the position of Director General of Competition Authority of Kenya. So, Speaker, during the vetting process, the one David Kemei showed a lot of experience and knowledge in the area, in matters of law, in matters of competitors. He has vast knowledge in the industry. So, Speaker, just following what the leader of majority has said, David Kemei has a job to be done in Kenya. One, Mr. Speaker, is to ask David Kemei, if he gets approval of this House, to sort out competition in the power sector, as the leader of majority has said, so that Kenya Power does not enjoy monopoly of power in this country, Mr. Speaker. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, in Safaricom, M-Pesa, competition between M-Pesa and commercial banks and microfinances, Mr. Speaker, an industry that is not regulated by law, Mr. Speaker, that needs to be sorted out. That is a job waiting for one David Kemei. Mr. Speaker, in the manufacture of semen, Mr. Speaker, in this country there is one manufacturer who does the clinker, who does the manufacture of and processing of semen. He is the manufacturer, he is the wholesaler, he is the retailer, and he is the distributor. Mr. Speaker, how do you expect the small business people to compete? Mr. Speaker, that is an area that requires to be sorted out. Similarly to steel manufacturer, it's the one manufacturing steel, he does the distribution, he does the retail, Mr. Speaker, and he does the mining.
of pellets, among other things, Mr. Speaker. How do you expect a small hustler who has opened their shop in Baringo North, for example, Mr. Speaker, to compete with that kind of manufacturer? So, Mr. Speaker, this is an industry that requires a man of caliber of David Kibet to be able to sort out the things that are affecting that particular industry, Mr. Speaker.